Our first competitor, 3619, with their program entitled, It's a Sickness.
This film was intended for educational purposes only. In recent years, doctors and psychiatrists have identified a new and troubling phenomenon. The homosexual. Boo! At first glance, the homosexual appears ordinary. He holds a steady job. He greets neighbors with a smile. He might even attend church. But beneath the polite exterior lies a sickness. It's mental illness, the musical. But I'm too sad to sing it. Still, it is a musical. It's not a straight play. I'm not a straight gay. I'm a sad gay. You know, we may not be on Broadway, but we are off Broadway. However, we've been picked up by 3 different inpatient recovery centers in the role I was born to play. Computer, make these guys super gay and... To clarify, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual 1. Homosexuality is here classified as a sociopathic personality disturbance. Homosexuals are incapable of holding significant loyalty to individuals, groups, or social values. You think I'm sick? You think I'm crazy. Well, what you don't understand is that being gay helps me move through this life so fabulously. And if that makes me sick, well then hit the lights, turn up the music, lock me up, and throw away the key. It worked. I'm straight. Is that crazy enough for you? For much of modern history, homosexuality has been treated not as an identity, but as a disorder in need of a cure. With psychiatric institutions including electroshock therapy, chemical sterilization, and in the most extreme cases, lobotomy. And although these barbaric treatments have been abandoned, their insidious nature exists in subtler ways. Just this year, the Supreme Court ruled in Childs v. Salazar that states can no longer ban talk therapy, which means churches and institutions can still profit off of the same camps and programs designed to shame queer people into turning into someone else. Because at its core, this decision has always rested on the same dangerous idea, that being gay is still something to fix. Let's be clear. Conversion therapy is not therapy. It is torture. So with the poems, Unwell by Ken Nura, Conversion by Sarah DeMuter, the dramas Mental Illness, the musical by Ben Wenzel, Before and After by Austin Lewandowski, Nurse Ratched by Ian Brennan, Prayers for Bobby by Katie Adams, The Prose, The Invert by Cornet Film, Diagnostic Statistical Manual 1 by American Psychiatric Association, Crazy by Joshua Lane, Field Notes from a Failed Conversion by Eli Story, and The TikTok Computer by Julius Magnadon. a program. Because if being myself is a sickness, then I am done begging for a cure. Mental Illness, the musical, starring me in lead role of understudy to myself. Directed and choreographed by Sadness, costumes by Mom, set design by the Suburbs. Oh, it's starting. Lights dim, curtain up, spotlight. Homosexuals are sinful and doomed to spend eternity in hell. These are the things I told my son Bobby when I found out he was gay. And I did everything I could to cure him of his sickness. When my parents dropped me off for New Day Restoration Camp, my first thought was, this place looks exactly like the kind of camp where kids die in horror movies. The counselor just said, we're gonna rebuild you from the inside out. That's gay. Do I get to pick the new wallpaper? He did not laugh. That became a rule, the first rule of conversion therapy. Don't move. If your knee shakes, it's temptation. If your breath stutters, it's demonic. If your voice cracks, it's your weakness. Femininity, unless underneath a man's body, is always wrong. During orientation, they told us that every feeling we ever had was either a trap, a test, or a symptom. And that this was the cure. Behold, the transorbital lobotomy. As if designed to comfort any queasy onlookers, the procedure benefits from the everyday nature of its instrument. The ice pick, which is inserted in a thin layer above the frontal eye lobe. You said we were just talking, just evaluating, sir. Sir, I'm not sick. I swear I am not sick. And we drive the ice pick 5 centimeters into the frontal eye lobe. These pathways govern emotion, impulse control, decision-making to reduce deviant urges. Sir, you gotta look at me. Just look at me. You can't go inside of my head. No, sir, please, don't take me apart. I'm sorry. I don't understand this part of the musical. Like, I don't think I've ever understood this part of the musical. I mean, why are there so many songs in this musical titled Empty? Why is the audience always empty? And you know, I am sick, playing to an empty house. And I'm sick, and you're sick. And I'm sick, and you're sick. And I'm sick. They told me it was a success. I guess it must be.
I don't feel sad or scared. I don't feel much of anything at all, really. Sometimes it feels like something inside of me wants to wake up. But it doesn't. It never does. Eight months ago, my son Bobby jumped off a bridge and killed himself. You know, if I had just listened to my son instead of calling him sick, well, he'd probably still be alive today. New Day Restoration Camp spent so much time telling us what was wrong with us that it took a while to notice what was still right. You know, the camp didn't fix me. But it didn't break me either. And that is enough to carry home.
Our next competitor, code 3736, with their program, Invaders from Mars.
Ha bidi bidi bum bum bidi bidi bum 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 ba 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 ba. When my family and I first immigrated to the United States, I lived in a world bordered by limitations. Ugh. So I spent the majority of my time looking up at the sky. I would spend hours in my bedroom just gazing up at the Star Wars fans should know that this isn't a story about what happened a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. No. It's about what's happening right now. Aliens! Are they hostile? Will our species survive? One thing we do know is that they are like us. I have the same organs as you. One brain, two lungs, one heart. One day, after work in the fields, my family and I gathered around our television set so we can witness mankind's first steps on the moon. I had an epiphany that day. When I grew up, I would be an astronaut. Alien invasion films have been around for 70 years. The first one was Invaders from Mars in 1953, which, well, coincidentally enough, was the same year in which Operation Wetback, an operation in which thousands of immigrants were deported to several parts in Mexico, had taken place. I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi, just like my father once told me that me and my siblings, we had the capabilities to achieve our American dream. He said that so long as we apply the same work ethic that we have working in the fields, to school, and subsequently our jobs after, that we can do anything we wanted, including becoming an astronaut. An article published by TRAC reports that over 70% of immigrants held in ICE detention centers contain zero criminal record, yet they're still treated as invaders. This idea of otherness isn't foreign whatsoever, as it's seen in our language, it's seen in our entertainment, and even our policies. In fact, earlier this month, the White House released aliens.gov, a sci-fi themed website with slogans such as "Aliens walk among us," used to describe immigrants in our nation, and even a provided alien invasion map to report extraterrestrial activity. When we alienate an entire minority, we strip individuals of their humanity. But when we reclaim the term alien, we challenge its negative, dehumanizing connotation. And instead, we frame the immigrant as someone brave enough to build a life in a country that wasn't built for them. So through the prose, Reaching for the Stars by Jose Hernandez, the dramas A Million Miles Away by Alejandra Marquez, Planet 51 by Jorge Blanco, and Star Wars, volumes 4 through 6 by George Lucas. Through the poetry, The Illegal Extraterrestrial by Julio Soriano, and articles from the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Medium. Invaders from Mars. A reclamation. Because who better to venture into the unknown, the unwelcoming, and the unfamiliar than someone who already has? Habidi bidi bidi bidi. Bum bum. The Force is what gives a Jedi its power. It is an energy field created by all living things. It binds and it penetrates us together. Our cultura was the Force that kept our family strong. However, one day I began to question it when a classmate of mine, he took a look at what was inside of my lunchbox. I will never forget the look of disgust that he had on his face. Oh, he called me a taco eater. Pero my tacos look better than his bologna sandwich.
Hello there, strange creature. Welcome to Earth. When interacting with humans, please abide by the following rules. Handshake. Good. Laser ray.
Bad. Star Wars has always been political. George Lucas talked about it in his original 1977 film, in which rebel Jedi battle against an authoritarian empire. In early 1992, I was 29 years old. I had applied for NASA's space exploration program. When I received my letter in the mail, it read, "Thank you for applying to NASA's space exploration program, but unfortunately, we will not call you back for a series of interviews." I was determined to apply again, but I realized that I was in a pool full of 20,996 applicants. In some of these applicants, they were scientists, they were athletes, they were engineers who trained to become astronauts. And to do that, I would need training. And training costs a lot of money, and we watch star people make sacrifices. Now it is my turn.
The army is ready for our first close encounter with the invader from outer space.
The National Guard will be sent to Los Angeles for a second day of illegal alien immigration raid. Zabidi bidi bidi bidi. Bum bum.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
In Star Wars, there's a difference in the way that aliens are treated. For example, the rebellion employs many aliens. Meanwhile, the villainous empire is overtly racist and employs none. Is that an illegal alien asking for fair wages? You are useless.
Sir, you're Dr. Sturkle, right? Head of the space exploration program. I am Jose Hernandez, sir, and I decided that this year I would submit my application in person. No, sir, you haven't even read it. No, sir, every decision that I have made, personal or academic, has been with the space exploration program in mind. Look, I have a master's degree in scientific engineering from Pacific University. You can check my DNA if you'd like. I swear I'm just the same as you. Oh, did I mention that I have over 100 piloting hours under my belt, sir? Sir, I'm in the best shape of my life. Last year, I ran the San Francisco Marathon. Alien invasion films were meant to scare Americans with fictional scenarios. Yet today, Americans have misplaced this fear for extraterrestrials with actual alien invasions. Immigration. Sir, I am the father of five beautiful, perfect little children. They are shopping in the same stores as us. They are sending their children to the same schools as our children, and they are living seemingly normal, perfect lives.
Sir, this would be my 12th application. And I have been on the verge of giving up after every attempt. But here I am. So go ahead. Feel free to reject me. Because I guarantee you that I will be standing here again. Ignition sequence off in 10, 9. Today, America's policies on immigration are much different. Yet still, millions upon millions of immigrants have managed to build a life in America, let alone build America. I am strong enough to know that undocumented doesn't mean unworthy. That those who draw borders are just those too afraid to admit that skin is their real issue. 876. I received a phone call later that week, and I was expecting an answer I'd always known. That is when they told me, Jose, how would you like to be an astronaut? 5, 4.
It's just, we are not getting our brains eaten. Oh,
or barbecued. 3, 2. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hatred. But remember, the Force will always be with you. 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. You know, I immigrated to the United States to work in the fields of California. And who better to explore the unknown than an immigrant?
Our third competitor, code 3530, with their program, Ice Always Melts.
I still get nightmares. It was May 18th. I was taking a shower when I heard El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. I'm from Las Vegas, which means a couple of things are true. I've had a fake ID since I was 16. Cigarette smoke smells like home. And anything below 70 degrees puts me in a terrible mood. Y'all, I freaking hate the cold. Like, it makes me extremely uncomfortable and does affect my health. I had fled my home country of Honduras with my 18-month-old son to seek political asylum after government violence had threatened our lives. I could have never imagined that they would take him away from me. But soon, I discovered how the U.S. immigration system truly works. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. Asthma is a respiratory condition in which the lungs, airways swell, leading to excessive coughing, chest pains, and trouble breathing. In other words, my lungs suck at being lungs. And the cold air just makes it 10 times worse. So, I stay away from AC units. Man, I don't even drink ice cold water. Because ice can make it really hard for me to breathe. Ice can make it really hard for people like me to live. Yes, this is another program about ice. I curated this program almost a year ago, and I could not have thought that this would be the state of the world that we would live in right now. So if this program makes you uncomfortable, good. Because for far too long, we have let discomfort be the reason why we won't act. But now, we no longer have that luxury. And if you find yourself searching for a single thesis statement throughout this program, you may be missing the larger question. How much suffering are we willing to accept before we decide something needs to change? So, through the poems Asthma Attack by Dimitri Matapat, Letter in the Mail by Angel Barragan, The Drama Detained by Francis Benson, Prose At the Border My Son Was Taken From Me by Miriam G., documenting stories of cruelty, fear, and resilience by ACLU, Articles 24 Immigrants by Hannah Rapelli and Lisa Riordan Seville, The Human Cost of Mass Detention by Austin Cocker, and the Chilean protest, El Pueblo Unido Jamás Será Vencido. Ice always melts. A program. We are what they fear the most. Unbroken, unafraid, and yet still here. Our comunidad is stronger than their cruelty. The officers brought me into a room and asked me questions about why I'd come to the United States. I told them about the dangers I had faced in Honduras. We spent the night in the facility. But little did I know, that would be the last time that my son would sleep in my arms. Throughout our country's history, people who are immigrants have been integral to our communities, economy, and our nation's origin story. Yet, our current administration has carried out immigration policies far crueler and more extreme than any living memory. My mom, oh, she's hella badass. Girl, I'm telling you, she ain't afraid of nothing. But that day, you know, that was the first time I had ever seen my mama scared. My mom is everything to me. When we woke up the next morning, they said that I'd be going to one place and that my son would be going to another. I asked why repeatedly, but they didn't give me a reason. Ah, yes, you're looking for my little Ruiz? Is this about my citizenship application? What? You've got a warrant for my arrest? At first I was confused. You know, I wasn't even worried because I got my green card. And I had been in this country for 30 years. Don't matter? Green card don't matter, passport, not even a citizenship letter. I just passed the exam, I'm about to become a US citizen. I had given him everything. And then he told me, you had a record in 1997. Look, don't worry, you'll see a judge right away, as soon as possible. This is a reminder that we need their permission to travel the land of our ancestors. That no matter how deeply rooted your roots were, you can be picked up at any time. I am proof. The parents who are legally seeking asylum are being separated from their children for seemingly no reason at all. This is a reminder that in this country, there's no cure for refuge, no inhaler that could save us from the system that is trying to inhale us. It was 2 weeks before I saw a judge. And after that, I was in detention for 7 months. All I could think about were my kids, especially the little ones, because they had suffered so much. The US government is not even doing the bare minimum to ensure that immigrants are getting the proper medical care that they need. 38 immigrants have died under our current administration. Roxana Hernandez, a transgender woman who died in ICE custody last summer. Abel Reyes Clemente died in an Arizona cell from complications of cirrhosis, heart disease, and diabetes. Carlos Bonilla. He was a father of 4 who repeatedly pleaded for medical care. Each was an opportunity for someone to do something, but they didn't. And it ended up killing him. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. The people united shall never be defeated. God bless the protests that feel more like deep breaths, that feel more like reminders that not even ice can make us freeze. That we buck back, cut back, take aim, finger squeeze, we be the big. Every night is the same nightmare. Immigrants continue to be detained, denied due process and deported. Stories like mine happening every single day. I carry this place inside of me now. Not as a cage, but as proof of how quickly an asthma attack can happen. How quick we become our own oppressors when we are just trying to breathe. And that should scare you, because racism always ends in a revolution. Walls always end in demolitions. And ice always melts.
Our 4th speaker, code 3680, with their program entitled Catch Up.
How to play Monopoly. Place the board on the table. The object of the game is to become the wealthiest player through buying, renting, and selling this property. Wow. 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 We love it. It's so up and coming, it's such a hidden gem. We'll take it. Hello, peers. White Americans are living with legacies of advantage, while black Americans are living with legacies of disadvantage, discrimination, and exclusion. What this workshop is about. Aria, if you don't get Aria, we are going to be late. Yes, I'm gonna bring you the money for the nice lunch today so the kids don't make fun of you, but you need to tell the teachers about that. I don't care, it is bullying. The landlord. Shit. Oh, I get a break at 10. And when I get that break, I'll bring you the money, I swear, I promise. My father used to tell stories about how these city streets started flying south for the winter, along with families forced into poverty. And remember, if you are declared bankrupt, if you owe more than you can pay, you lose. Picture this. We're playing Monopoly, and since slavery lasted for 450 years, you won't get to play until I go around the board 450 times. Now that you are playing, I have made it impossible for you to build wealth. For black communities, it's not something we have to picture. It's something we have to live through. Because whether it comes from housing, financial services, and/or employment, the cards have always been against us. The National Equity Atlas states that black applicants are denied mortgages at nearly twice the rate of white applicants, earn 25% less on average, and are over twice as likely to live in high-poverty neighborhoods. And that's not a coincidence. That's a system that has just gotten better at hiding the redlining and the segregating that continues to terrorize communities. So, using articles from Harvard University, The Medium, BBC, Wired, and Written, the Monopoly rulebook from Hasbro, the poetry Let America Be America by Langston Hughes, Gentrification by Dion Harrison and Kenny Carl, and the movie Straw by Tyler Perry, we find minorities being pushed back in this twisted game of catch up, a program. Because when the rules are consistently against us, following them is no longer fairness, it is surrender. And breaking them becomes survival. For 450 years, you weren't able to play, but now you can, so catch up. 450 years of slavery. Then the banks were segregated, then desegregation was enforced by the Civil Rights Act of 1964, Loving versus Virginia. But discrimination within the banking industry, well, that continued. I'm late because the school called, but if you're letting me go. But I can't wait for the check in the mail, and I have to pay rent, and Aria, she gets these seizures, and looking for an apartment right now, it would be risky. He told me he didn't give a shit. So why should I? Why? Feelings about gentrification. Well, the neighborhood looks a lot nicer now. You know, a lot safer. Thanks to the reservations, safer sounds like a dog whistle. for less black people, for no black people, for people deemed undesirable by the ignorant. Ignorant. My people aren't ignorant. Gentrification is a trifecta of stereotypes, racism, and classism that's been played out in America for centuries. My people aren't dumb. We set the system up. So, shh. We are living in a system that was built by white people for white people. This same system makes us feel that our only hope is looting a Walmart, or a Target, or hell, even a bank. Wait, all I need is some money so I can bring my daughter the nice lunch to the school so the kids don't tease her. Why aren't y'all moving? I asked y'all a question. I said, why aren't y'all moving? Move! My boss fired me today. My boss fired me today because the school called and told me to check on my child. The landlord put us out because he couldn't even wait 3 days. 3 days. My daughter's medicine was put out in the rain in the street, and her medicine is so expensive. I worked 2 jobs and I'm barely making it, so please. I'm just trying to do what's right for my baby. From then on, things might feel a little hopeless, but you can still catch up. We started catching up. We built economic wealth where we were self-sufficient, where we own land, own banks, own cars. That was Rosewood, that was Tulsa, but they didn't like that. So you know what they did? They killed us in the streets. Where we built economic wealth on our own bootstraps, they slaughtered us. They dropped bombs on us. The Tulsa massacre killed 300 people and left 800 homeless. And then they tell us that we should just catch up. We've played your games and built your wealth and then built our wealth, and this system has patronized us for it. So of course we say screw your Targets and screw your Walmarts and screw your banks, because as far as we're concerned, we could rob each and every bank in the world and it still wouldn't be enough. And you are lucky. White people are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge. Because for too long, you have forced us to play Monopoly. But with a twist, the character's race is crucial to the player's success. We are people, full of strength, full of hope, tangled in ancient endless chains of profit, of power, of work the men and take the pay, of owning everything for one's own advantage, leaving us at a disadvantage. And we are aware of your situation and ours. And we'll continue to tell you you're destroying the community when we know we are, but I genuinely believe that you can still catch up. I got a call last night, and supposedly Aria had a seizure, and my mom rushed her to the hospital, and she died. It feels like we can't win. Like there's so much red tape and so much put into us not getting ahead, when all I ever wanted was to be seen as an equal, was to be treated with respect, and was to be shown the same love that we show you. And if we can't show those emotions, then we will be in the same spot that we've been in for 450 years. American history is full of white supremacists taking what they have, destroying what they will, blocking people of color from building wealth and getting away with it. But this must be changed. change through education, change through reconstruction. We, the people, must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, and the endless plains. And once we redeem, once we educate, then maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to catch up.
Our fifth competitor, code 3677, with their program, Dying to Play.
Welcome to the Super Bowl halftime show, starring Kendrick Lamar. I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA. I got quarter piece, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got people going. So, like, what happened during slavery that could affect us today? A lot. For instance, during slavery, they used to take the biggest, strongest slaves and breed them and try their best to make super slaves. This is why black people dominate every physical activity in America. Basketball, baseball, football. Hey, as soon as they make a heated hockey rink, ooh, we go take that shit too. To call this flimsy logic would be an understatement. However, it isn't uncommon to believe that a contributing factor in black people's athletic dominance is white slaveholders' genetic manipulation of black bodies. This causes black athletes to be treated with less care and humanity. Before I wanted to be a man, I wanted to be a trophy, a champion, a beast, a monster. It took an entire village to raise my son, Jordan McNair. From the moment he stepped onto the flag football fields for the first time, Jordan was a true athlete, and he was good. And I don't say this just because I'm Jordan's father. I say this because he was. We had so many plans, but our plans never included his death. In a study done by the University of Massachusetts Amherst, evaluating over 40 years of NFL game data, showed that while white players were described using words such as cool, smart, and perfect, black players were described using words like animal, beast, and monster, having their physical abilities reduced to natural gifts and genetics. This commentary on black players plays on long-held belief stemming from misconceptions surrounding slavery and selective breeding, effectively creating the dangerous stereotype that black athletes can endure more amount of strain, leading to long-term injuries and even death. So, through the works, the poems, Past by Black Chakra, American Football by Aaron Coleman, The Prose, A Letter from a Father, and Can My Child Play by Martin McNair, Coach Please by Grayson Stanford, The Drama, Never Scared by Chris Rock, Star College Football Player, Get Your Concussion by Eric Fuhrer, Super Bowl 59 Halftime Show by Kendrick Lamar, Champion by Rupert Sanders, Him by Zach Akers, and interviews with Jordan McNair's parents, and articles from The Guardian, The Diamondback, and The Conversation. As a player, I love the game. But our strength was never just physical, and neither are we. I got hustle, though, ambition, flow inside my DNA. I was born like this, transformed like this, performed like this was a good gauge. Sorry I'm late. Forgot where the party was and what my name is. Concussion? Nah. Coach just said I got my think pillow fluff. I'm good gauge. Sorry I'm late. Forgot where the party was and how to walk. Concussion? Nah. Coach just says I am a threat on a torn field. Our bodies decorate the Coliseum grounds. We reset and collide, reset and collide, reset. And I'll never forget, on the second day of his junior year, Jordan came home to over 200 pieces of mail from different colleges. But I kept him grounded. Football was important, but so was schoolwork and household responsibilities. He'd hear from us often, I don't care how many offers you get. Take out the trash. Everything was falling into place. The rest would just come with time, practice, and great coaches. All right, same drill, but this time, hit him. What? Listen, in Rome, gladiators were burnt, beaten, killed. Football is just the American game. Salutations, it's your Uncle Sam. And this whole thing is a slave ritual. Thought our people found freedom when you ran, but now they got you running back. Got you tossing pigskins like bales of cotton. Zigzag, shuck, jive, Bo Jackson, Bojangles. You looking at this game from the wrong angles. I got my heritage, y'all am inheritance. So if it's not inherent, then what is the reason for this black athletic superiority? Ultimately, we can place the blame on a long-lasting and deadly stereotype that views black males as subhuman and superhuman, suggesting that black male athletes have an ability of enduring extreme amounts of pain, resulting in entirely preventable long-term health problems such as high blood pressure, depression, and concussion. Nah! Coach just said I took the first class flight to the winner's circle with the 45-second layover in Comaville. You know, I don't feel so good, yay! Sorry I'm late, forgot where we draw the line when desire bangs against pain. I remember launching my body into a boy who cradles a ball as if his life depends on it. Born inside the beast, got expertise inside my DNA. No. Miss Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Didn't Super Bowl 2018 teach you that America ain't no team, player? The only way you'll beat patriotism is if you're willing to lose to their ego or ego. Scorekeeper, deduct one life. We got the call around 8 that we needed to get to the hospital. We only knew that Jordan was fighting for his life, and the coaches were already there. They were attempting to bombard us with their side of the story. And then I heard the real story. At 4:15, Jordan became overheated and began calling, "Coach, help!" They denied their involvement when your brain is scrambled. Imagine blacks thinking they found heaven, but under a helmet is where you in hell met. They wanted him to keep practicing. That is what they thought was more important than him being unable to breathe or stand. At 4:35, They told his teammates to drag his ass across the field. $1 million deal. They want Emmitt Smith, but treat you like Emmett Till. They like their black shackled, tackled, concussed. Coach! Please! Jordan spent his last conscious moments on that field crying for his mother. And no one helped him. No, instead, a bunch of grown men just left him begging for help for over an hour. And at 5:58, the campus police called 911. And Jordan's body temperature was at 108. It was entirely preventable. Yes, Jordan was a great athlete, but he was also a friend, a student. And a son. This issue will continue if institutions and audiences don't stop treating black athletes as entertainment. Players are people first. And at the very least, are deserving of a life after sports. I fear what I have done to my body to be black and uniformed defines my body as a sacrifice, as a trophy before a man.
Our final speaker, code 3704, with their program, A Trick Called Tradition.
Illusionists have been around for centuries. Talented entertainers whose primary goal is to deceive from something they don't want you to pay attention to. Ta-da! I'm his ta-da girl, the magician's assistant. It's my job to smile, point to the hat, smile, step from the closet, smile and ooh! Let me tell you, I was 6, very bored in that classroom. But then break time comes and everyone goes outside, but then there's a question. Hey, Abel, are you cut? I don't know. No. Are you sure? No. Tradition is a cornerstone upon which cultures build their identity, deeply rooted and passed down through generations. For instance, I can tell you exactly how I undertake this ancient tradition, but I can cut you right now at a member going to my mother.
Whatever they're talking about, cutting, it must be something beautiful. Whatever it is, I need you to do it.
My mother was cut, and my grandmother. It is part of our culture, and for our own good. Are you sure?
Yes! Yes! I didn't know what it was.
I didn't ask. I didn't know. Today, we are diving into one of the world's most famous illusions. Shine a lady in half. Like a magician's illusion, the deception of autonomy is hidden behind the language of tradition. Behind the spectacle are children who have little say in the roles they are expected to play, constrained by cultural expectations and beliefs. As a result, many young boys and girls are subjected to experience a celebrated violence. My own family's history reflects this harm through the practice of female genital mutilation, thought to be confined to the past or faraway places. FGM is a current reality, including right here in Virginia, where according to the AHA Foundation, over 20,000 women and girls live with a practice many believed to have disappeared. What is described as a cultural pride or moral protection is in truth rooted in the denial of a woman's right to her own body. So, with the poem The Magician's Assistant by Penny Ann Biadulan, the dramas Hibo's Story by Hibo Ordanne, The Cruel Cut by Leila Hussein, the prose The Power of Tradition by Arum, The Truth of Traditions by Clarence E. Stowers, and articles from the UN Women and the BBC. A trick called tradition, dedicated to my mother, who refused to let tradition steal our bodies or our futures. By escaping the shadow of FGM, she showed that real freedom comes when we confront and release the traditions that harm us. The illusion is a masterclass in misdirection, distraction, and cleverly designed equipment, and a strategically placed magician's assistant. But let's get one thing straight. No humans are harmed in the making of this tradition. It's comfortable, nostalgic, filled with happy friends and family. Halloween, ding dong, ah! But let's get one thing straight. Traditions can be harmful. Practices like hazing, racial segregation, corporal punishment, and child marriage. We teach them how to be wives, how to cook and clean. We have big parties for the initiations, where we dance, sing, and feel good.
All the aunties were there, and my extended aunties, and my mother was there, and I was so happy. And I was thinking, why didn't this happen before? My mother is so cool. Oh, she gave me this new beautiful rainbow dress. My costume has shrunk. It's a little more than a couple sequins in the front and a shiny strand of sateen down the back.
all part of redirecting the audience's attention under the guise of tradition. Many practices against young boys and girls involve extreme physical violence, honor killings, sterilization, and genital cutting. But just because something has always been done doesn't mean it must remain. It's worth asking, who benefits from this? And what purpose does it serve in our current world today? Over 2 million girls experience FGM annually across 92 countries, including the Americas and Europe, leaving survivors with long-lasting physical and psychological trauma. No humans are harmed. It's all about a sleight of hand, misdirection.
I remember these two women walked in. My mother says,
I need you to sit between her legs. The magician lies down inside. And the real magic happens.
and the cutter was the last one to walk in. And she opened her bag. And there was brown razors.
I need you to pull her legs apart. I want you to pull her legs.
And she lifted my dress. Ta-da!
I've been blindfolded, bound, levitated, disappeared. FGM has no health benefits and often causes chronic pain, cysts, complications in childbirth, and in some cases, death. The magician employs a saw or other cutting tool to create the illusion of sawing a lady in half. He loves driving the rigid blade deeper and deeper, grinning at me as he slices me in two.
And she got a hold of me, and she got. And I screamed, Mom, all you put to do was another cut. And another cut. And I lost count of how many cuts. And I'm looking at my mother.
After they were finished, I wasn't 6 years old anymore. I don't know what I was, but I was never 6 again. Why? Why did my mother think this was good? A tradition? Being butchered by the people you love most was the most hurtful thing. Being sawed in half. Ta-da! Once the assistant has been sawn in half, the magician then reassembles the two halves to make it appear as though the assistant has been restored to the original form. Violence against children is not just an African issue or Middle Eastern issue. It is everyone's problem. Female genital mutilation is child abuse. It says that children don't have the right to their bodies. Well, I say bullshit to that.
carefully examining traditions that we choose to keep. And it's important where a woman doesn't have to smile as she's being sliced in two. And if no such place exists, then I'm powerful enough now to conjure one up and speak an incantation of my own. Ta-da!
Please welcome to the stage the finalists in program oral interpretation presented by Advantage Communications. And with the 6 finalists in humorous interpretation, please line up with your coaches. So Advantage Communications partners with school districts nationwide to ensure that all students have access to the skills that are developed through speech and debate, providing programs at no cost to students and families. So introducing tonight's winners is tournament official David Yastrzemski, and congratulating them is Sal Tinajero, CEO and founder of Advantage Communications and a 4-time Diamond coach. Your winners in program oral interpretation are, in 6th place, Stephen Barrento from Lakeville North High School in Minnesota, coached by Brian Grosso. In 5th place, Benny Tates from Winston Churchill High School in Texas, coached by Daniel Moore and Preston Stolt. In 4th place, Gavin Creighton from David Thibodeau STEM Magnet Academy in Louisiana, coached by Jacob Leger, Brittany Turner, and Emily Guidry. In 3rd place, receiving a $250 scholarship, Gavin Faust from Lincoln East High School in Nebraska, coached by Nick Herrick, El Bart, and Max Apel. In 2nd place, receiving a $500 scholarship, Allison Hernandez from Los Alamos High School in California, coached by Megan Thompson and Joel Anguiano. And your national champion in program oral interpretation, receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Advantage Communications, is George Matthew Gutierrez from Harlingen High School South in the great state of Texas. He is coached by Eddie Cavazos and Martin Vela.